Hey everybody, this is Janelle from CandleScience, and this is a 30-pound stainless steel wax melter. No, it doesn't weigh 30 pounds. This machine will let you melt up to 30 pounds of wax at a time. This is an excellent affordable choice if you need to ramp up your candle production, but maybe you don't quite need the output of something as large as the 65-pound melter. Let's take a look at some of the main features and helpful tips for this melter. On the side, you'll find the main power switch. To the left of that, there's a power adjustment switch with two settings, 600 watts and a high heat mode that bumps the power up to 1600 watts. For most soy and vegetable waxes, you'll only need the 600 watt setting. If the wax that you're using has a melting point over 130 degrees, then you may want to use the 1600 watt setting. In the front, there's a stainless steel tap for easy access to your wax. And finally, there's a display surrounded by buttons that allow you to adjust your temperature, melt duration, and delayed start time. Operating this melter is easy and convenient. Load your wax into the top of the tank and set the power to 600 watts. Keep in mind that you should always start off with 600 watts for any melt and leave the lid off the top of the tank. You only want to set the melter to 1600 watts after an initial melt and only if the tank is halfway full of wax or more. Failing to do this may display an error code. This prevents the melter from heating up too quickly and triggering the auto shutoff. Next, turn on the main power switch, then push the on-off button next to the display. At this point, if you do nothing, then the machine will go into Quickstart mode and begin melting your wax at the default temperature and duration settings. You can also do a manual start. After turning on the machine, you'll be able to use the plus or minus buttons to adjust to your desired temperature. Press Set to lock in your settings. You'll then have the option to enter your runtime. If you don't select anything, the wax melter will run for 4 hours. You can lock in your most used settings as default settings, which is a huge time saver. Place the machine in standby mode by holding down the Set button for 10 seconds until the display screen lights up. Press the plus or minus buttons to switch between Fahrenheit or Celsius and press Set to confirm. You'll then have the option to change your other settings. Press Set after adjusting each setting. And that's it! Super simple. Once the wax is melted and you're ready to pour, place your pouring pitcher underneath the tap, unlock, and twist to let the wax flow out. We recommend adding your fragrances to your pouring pitchers instead of to the tank. That way, you'll be able to pour a few different fragrances with one batch of wax. If you get an error code that reads E3 or E4, first you'll need to reset the code by pushing in the Reset pin located underneath the melter after it is cooled to room temperature. To prevent the error from reoccurring, follow these guidelines. Always start off at 600 watts and make sure the tank is at least halfway full of wax with the lid removed. After there's enough melted wax in the tank, you can bump up the power to 1600 watts if you're using a harder wax. You can keep the wax melter clean by wiping out the tank with paper towels and rubbing alcohol after it's cooled to room temperature, but never submerge the melter in water. You might be concerned about extra wax in your melter. Well, there's no need to be. If you're using the same wax, there's nothing wrong with keeping the wax in the melter until you're ready for your next project. And if it seems like your wax is separating in the tank, this is normal. Everything should eventually melt completely. Thanks for watching! If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to stay up to date with all of our newest content. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment or reach out. Now we've actually got some candles to make after melting all this wax, so we'll see you next time.